like you. Be strong to hold the powers of the sun. To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Na Dior Pop. Purple Heart. Have you ever felt that a concert is not just about the music echoing through the stadium, but about emotions that quietly reach somewhere deeper inside you? The kind of feeling that is difficult to explain, yet impossible to ignore. Because in El Paso, that night was more than just a performance. It carried something softer, warmer, and somehow incredibly personal. Amid thousands of fans, dazzling stage lights, and the overwhelming roar of the crowd, it wasn't the grand moments that stood out the most. Instead, it was the smallest details, the ones that could easily go unnoticed, that felt the most real. The way Jimin casually handed his phone to Jungkook, or the way Jungkook looked at him as if the entire world had faded away, those quiet, fleeting moments held a depth that words can barely capture. From the very beginning, the atmosphere in El Paso felt different. There was an extra layer of emotion lingering in the air. It wasn't just the energy of the crowd or the brilliance of the stage production, it was something more subtle, more delicate, something that slowly settled into the moment without anyone fully realizing it. It felt as if the outside world had softened, leaving behind a space that was strangely intimate, almost as if it belonged only to them. That night wasn't just about choreography or vocals. It wasn't just about delivering a flawless show. It was about something far more intangible, a feeling of closeness, of calm, of sincerity that couldn't be staged. And it all began with the smallest gestures. One of those moments came when Jimin casually handed his phone to Jungkook. There was no hesitation, no explanation. Just a natural, effortless motion paired with a soft smile. In that simple act, there was trust. Something genuine, something unspoken. Jungkook accepted it just as naturally, quietly beginning to film and take photos, capturing Jimin as if, in that moment, nothing else truly mattered. There was nothing dramatic about it. Nothing exaggerated. And maybe that's exactly why it felt so intimate. When that clip later appeared on Jimin's Instagram story, it felt like a brief glimpse into a private world, one that had, even if only for a second, opened itself to the public. Then came one of the most unforgettable moments, when Jimin began to dance. But this time, it felt different. His movements were lighter, freer, filled with a natural, playful energy. There was something effortlessly joyful in the way he moved. And as he stepped forward, positioning himself directly in front of Jungkook, it almost felt as though he was creating a space of their own, right there in the middle of a massive stage surrounded by thousands of eyes. There was confidence in his movements, but also a softness, something that felt like a quiet, unspoken message. A gentle kind of teasing that didn't need words. And what truly brought that moment to life was Jungkook's reaction. His gaze immediately locked onto Jimin. Completely focused. Undistracted. As if everything else around him had disappeared. The lights, the crowd, the noise, all of it seemed to fade into the background. His expression softened. A smile slowly formed, not one meant for the camera, not one performed for the audience, but something natural. Something real. There was admiration in his eyes. Warmth that couldn't be hidden. For a brief moment, they didn't look like performers on a stage. It felt more like watching someone completely immersed in what they were seeing, someone who didn't want to miss even the smallest detail. What stood out the most was how Jungkook seemed to forget where he was. Thousands of fans were watching. Cameras were everywhere. And yet, none of it seemed to matter. All that remained was Jimin. The moment itself was short, almost fleeting. But that's exactly what made it so powerful. It wasn't planned. It wasn't choreographed. It was pure spontaneity, raw and honest. There was a subtle tension in the air. Not heavy, not overwhelming, but something emotional, something that made anyone watching pause, even just for a second. It felt like the distance between them had quietly disappeared, as if the outside world no longer existed. Throughout the night, there were countless small interactions that reinforced that feeling. Light touches that happened naturally, shoulders brushing, steps falling into sync without effort, glances that lingered just a little longer than usual. Their closeness didn't feel forced. It didn't feel like something done for the sake of the audience. It flowed effortlessly, like something that had always been there. They've always had this kind of dynamic. But in El Paso, it felt different. Freer. Happier. Closer. It was as if, for a moment, they weren't thinking about expectations or cameras. As if the only thing that mattered was each other. And maybe that's what made everything feel so sincere. That's why these moments are so unforgettable. Not because of grand gestures, but because of the comfort that was so clearly visible between them. The way they moved around each other felt familiar, like returning home. The way their smiles softened when their eyes met felt genuine and unguarded. Nothing felt forced. Nothing felt staged. Just two people moving in the same rhythm, calm, in sync and real. El Paso didn't just give us moments. It gave us a feeling that cannot be scripted, cannot be performed, and cannot be hidden. Something that only exists when everything happens naturally. And maybe whatever they shared that night was truly real. You could see it in the way they looked at each other when they thought no one was paying attention. Among all these interactions, there was one small moment that felt especially rare. Only one fan cam managed to capture it clearly. It's no surprise that many people are hoping for an HD version, because every second of it feels too precious to miss. As they walked side by side across the stage, there was a natural harmony between them. It wasn't just about walking together, it was the way their steps seemed to align effortlessly. Without thinking, without trying, they created a warmth that could be felt even from afar. That simple moment became one of the most memorable of the night. In the middle of the concert, we also caught a glimpse of another side of them, the way Jimin and Jungkook took a moment to greet the production staff as they passed by. It was brief but sincere. Their reactions afterward, happy, slightly in awe, made it feel even more genuine. There was humility in that moment. Something that made them feel closer, more human. Then there was an adorable moment when Jungkook suddenly stopped just to watch Jimin. Jimin was being playful, acting a little silly with a bright, carefree expression. Jungkook simply stood there, smiling widely, unable to hide it. That look was full of attention. As if he was truly enjoying every little thing Jimin was doing, not wanting to miss a single second. Shortly after, another small interaction was caught on camera. Jungkook briefly touching Jimin's stomach during the song, Baby. It was quick, almost unnoticeable. But because it was so spontaneous, it felt incredibly real and familiar. There was also a light-hearted, funny moment. At one point, Jungkook seemed unsatisfied with the camera angle. Instead of ignoring it, he took the camera himself and started filming Jimin. It instantly became a playful, spontaneous moment, full of charm and warmth. As the concert came to an end, the atmosphere remained just as warm. The interactions between the members became even more relaxed, filled with laughter. Jimin teasing Jin during the closing segment added a light, joyful energy that made the night feel complete. Moments like these remind us how close they are, not just as performers, but as people. There's no distance, no pretense, just genuine connection. In the end, all of these moments, big and small, paint a complete picture of how special the El Paso concert truly was. Not just because of the incredible performance, but because of the interactions, the attention, and the undeniable chemistry between them. Behind the dazzling stage, there was something real, something warm, something honest, something alive in every moment they shared. So, what do you think? Was it all just coincidence on stage? Or was there something deeper that simply couldn't be hidden? If you felt it too, don't hesitate to share your thoughts in the comments. I would truly love to hear your perspective. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with fellow ARMY, so we can continue exploring these meaningful moments together. See you in the next Na Dior Pop video. Purple Heart.